Let's go over to David right now. He's at the political desk, and he has the latest on the hottest Senate races happening in the country. David.
Well, Tamron, on November 4th, Democrats are hoping to pick up a number of seats in both houses of Congress, but the ultimate goal is 60 Senate seats. That would be a filibuster-proof majority, something that has not happened in the U.S. Senate since Jimmy Carter. It's a long shot, but the map is beginning to favor the Democrats. Virginia and New Mexico will in all likelihood go from Republican to Democratic. There are 5 more races leaning the Democrats' way: Colorado, New Hampshire, Alaska, North Carolina, and Oregon. Minnesota and Mississippi's races are now toss-ups, and there are 3 long shots: Georgia, Kentucky, and Maine. A lot of Democrats would love, of course, to take that Georgia race from Saxby Chambliss, who 6 years ago ran ads linking a Vietnam vet with Osama bin Laden and Saddam Hussein. In any case, MSNBC congressional correspondent Mike Viqueira is live on Capitol Hill. And Mike, give us the rundown of the hottest races.
Well, to get to that 60, that holy grail in the Senate, that filibuster-proof majority, David, they need 9 more. Democrats have 51 now, if you count 2 independents, and there is a very stiff wind blowing in the face of Republicans that many believe now puts the Senate within reach, Democrats, of getting that 60-vote threshold. There's an anti-Republican feeling abroad in the land, David, and we're going to talk about 3 races here real quick where it's very indicative of what is happening out there. Let's start with Minnesota, where the incumbent Republican is Norm Coleman, and he's running against me. I'm Al Franken, the former Saturday Night Live comedian turned liberal radio host. It's a two-point race at this point, well within the margin of error. There's a wild card here, a third-party candidate named Dean Barkley. He was actually a United States Senator once, appointed by Jesse Ventura and served for a short time. He's polling at about 20% in the race now. Moving on to North Carolina, you know her, I know her, the American people know Elizabeth Dole, the wife of the former presidential candidate, a cabinet official in her own right, and now, of course, the United States Senator in serious trouble from a state senator named Mary Kagan. And moving to the last frontier, that's Alaska. Just at the foot of Capitol Hill here in the federal courthouse, Ted Stevens has been on trial for the last 3 weeks. He just wrapped up testifying in his own defense yesterday. Closing arguments scheduled for today. This thing could go to the jury today. We could have a verdict within the next couple of days, perhaps within this week, that the conventional wisdom here inside the Beltway says will go a long way in determining whether the legend of Alaska, he's got airports named after him, bridges named after him, any number of things named after him up there. The state has benefited from the largesse in federal dollars that he has directed that way since 1968 when he took his seat in the Senate. That verdict will go a long way in determining whether he continues to serve in the United States Senate from Alaska. David.
MSNBC congressional correspondent Mike Viqueira. Mike, thanks as always.